Hi guys! So our topic for today will be all about IAS number 37 na may title na Provisions, Contingent Liabilities, and Contingent Assets. We're good? So start tayo sa Provisions. So what is a provision? So ano yung provision na yan? Well, provision is an existing liability. Once again, provision is an existing liability of uncertain timing or uncertain amount. We're good? So, anong ibig sabihin yan, sir? Well, needless to say, provision is actually a liability. Ibig sabihin, this is actually recognized on the books. Kaso, sir, bakit may kasunod siya? Bakit sinasabi ng IAS 37 ng provision, uncertain daw yung timing niya or yung kanyang amount? Yes, well, that's true, no? That's true because, why? Because kapag sinabi nating provisions, sure tayo or certain tayo na meron tayong babayaran, certain tayo that there is an economic benefits that will flow outside the entity sa future. Ano pa? Right, there is a past event and we have a present obligation. Meaning, yung tatlong karakteristik ng isang liability is, right, na kinomply ng isang provision. Kaso nga lang, since hindi pa siya nangyayari, no, we are not yet certain with regards to its timing or amount. So, anong example niyan? Example niyan is, let's say, meron kang patent, no? Then, nagkaroon ng demandahan. Sir, bakit? Because inaangkin ng ibang tao yung patent mo. So, since nagkaroon ng demandahan ngayon, see to it na possible na may bayaran ka if invento talaga yan or invention talaga yan ng ibang tao. You with me? So, kapag sinabi ng lawyer mo, no, that there is a probable chance that there is a future economic benefits that will flow from you, ibig sabihin palabas sa'yo, meaning may babayaran ka sa future, there is already a liability. Because una, may past event, may ginawa kang mali. Pangalawa, alright, there is a present obligation. May obligation ka na magbayad sa future. Then pangatlo, there is a probable future economic benefits that will flow outside the entity. You with me? Ibig sabihin ngayon, we have to recognize provision, kaso nga lang, since uncertain yung timing, hindi natin alam kung kailan yan babayaran kasi wala pang verdict yung korte. Hindi pa napagdedesisyonan nung judge kung ano ba or kung magkano ba yung babayaran mo. Kaya siya natawag na uncertain timing and event. Nagigets? So, the essence of a provision now is that there is an uncertainty about the timing or the amount of future expenditure. Wanag ba? So, it is this uncertainty that distinguishes provision from other liabilities, because with regards to the other liabilities, asahan mo na certain tayo kung kailan yan babayaran. Let's say notes payable. We are certain kung kailan yan babayaran kasi may maturity date. Certain din tayo sa amount yan kasi meron tayong tinatawag na maturity value. Pero pagdating sa provision, right, liability pa rin naman to, kaso we are not yet sure kung magkano ang babayaran mo or kung magkano ba or kung kailan mo babayaran yan. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo? Ngayon ganito, sir, kung uncertain po yung amount ng provision na yan, how can you measure, right, provision now? Well, provisions are measured by the use of estimates, no? Ibig sabihin, i-estimate lang natin yan. Maliwanag ba? Sir, are we allowed to use estimates? Yes, we are allowed, right, based on paragraph number 25 of IAS number 37. Because according to IAS 37, paragraph number 25, use of estimates is an essential part of the preparation of financial statements and does not undermine their reliability. Ibig sabihin, even though estimates lang ang ating ginagamit, see to it na reasonable pa rin naman yung estimate na yan. Ibig sabihin, nagko-comply pa rin tayo doon sa, right, the amount of obligation can be measured reliably na recognition criteria ng isang liability, no? Because what are the recognition criteria of a liability? Una, sabi nga natin, the entity has a present obligation as a result of past event. Pangalawa, it is probable that an outflow of resources embodying economic benefits would be required to settle the obligation. And then pangatlo, the amount of the obligation can be measured reliably. So since kayang-kaya naman nating ma-estimate yan based on past experience, see to it now na reasonable pa din or measured reliably pa din yung obligation na to. So ibig sabihin, pwedeng-pwede pa rin natin siyang i-recognize. We good? So the next question is how do we measure provision, no? So measurement of provision. We good? Well, pagdating sa measurement of provision, lagi mong tatandaan that the amount will be what? Will be the best estimate, no? Once again, this is the best estimate of the expenditure required to be settled. Ibig sabihin, kapag may sinabi sa problem, no? Once again, kapag meron po sinabi sa problem na best estimate of the amount of expenditure required to be settled in the future, that's it. That's already the amount of provision. Nagkakaintindihan ba tayo doon? So, see, here, what are the best approaches, no? Or the approaches on how to compute provision or the amount of provision? Well, number one is yung tinatawag natin na midpoint. Once again, number one is yung tinatawag po natin na midpoint of the range approach. So, sir, ano pong meron sa midpoint of the range approach? Well, kapag sinabi po nating midpoint of the range approach, ang ibig lang naman sabihin yan is we will use, right, this approach when there is a continuous range of possible outcomes, ne? And each point in that range is as likely as the other. Ibig sabihin, walang nangingibabaw. So, kapag sinabi ng problem, no, the amount of liability is between 100,000 and 140,000, the midpoint of that range will be the amount of provision. So, how to compute the midpoint? Well, midpoint is actually just equal to the highest amount plus the lowest amount in the range and then divide it by 2. Liwanag? Pero, hindi po lahat ng midpoint is reasonable. Once again, dapat reasonable po yung estimate. Maliwanag ba? Ang ibig sabihin ngayon, kapag binigyan ka ng range na sobrang broad, no? Sir, anong ibig mo sabihin dyan? Let's say yung range na binigay sa'yo is 20,000 to 2 million pesos. See to it na hindi na po yan reasonable. Sir, paano mo nasabing hindi na yan reasonable? Well, hindi na yan reasonable because, right, sobrang lawak na ng range na yan. Sobrang hindi na makatotohanan. So, ibig sabihin, if that's the case, na hindi na reasonable yung estimate, the amount of provision now will be equal to 0. Because lagi mong tatandaan, in order for a liability to be recognized, number one, there must be a probable future economic benefits that will flow to the entity. Outside the entity. Then, pangalawa, dapat the amount of liability can be measured reliably. So, if the range given is so wide or so broad, ibig sabihin 20,000 to 2 million, asahan mo that the amount of estimate here is no longer reasonable, meaning the amount can no longer be measured reliably. And if the amount can no longer be measured reliably, see to it now that our final answer here, kapag tinanong tayo magkano yung provision, will be equal to what? Will be equal to 0. Once again, ang sasagot natin dito is 0 kapag sobrang lawak na nung range na binigay. Nagigets? Now, punta po tayo sa number 2. Sir, what's the second approach? The second approach is yung tinatawag po natin na expected value approach. Once again, we have what we call the expected value approach, no? So, kapag sinabi nating expected value approach, well, here, the amount of provision is actually equal, no, to the sum of all the possible amounts multiplied to their corresponding probability. Ibig sabihin, if maraming possible amount na given sa problem, just what? Just multiply those possible amounts to their corresponding probability and then kunin mo yung sum ng mga product nila and then that's it. That's already the amount of provision. So those are the two approaches on how we can measure the provision. Next, punta tayo sa sa kasunod na concept, no? That's all about risk and uncertainties. Sir, anong ibig sabihin ng risk and uncertainties na yan? Well, the risk and uncertainties that inevitably surround events and circumstances shall be taken into account in reaching the best estimate of a provision. Sir, paano mo masabing may risk and uncertainties? Well, sabi nga natin kanina, provision is an existing liability of uncertain timing or uncertain amount. Meaning, meron talagang uncertainty dito. Nagigets? And since meron ngang uncertainty, because estimate lang to, no, hindi pa tayo sure kung ito talaga yung babayaran natin, asahan mo ngayon na kailangan nating i-involve yung risk and uncertainties. So, risk actually describes the variability of the outcome, no? Because hanggat hindi nagdi-decide yung judge, hanggat walang verdict yung court, see to it na walang magiging certainty dito. Lahat uncertain. Nagigets? Also, as prudence or as conservatism dictates, caution is needed in making judgment under conditions of uncertainty so that income and assets are not overstated or expense and liabilities are not understated. So kapag sinabi nating prudence or conservatism, isn't it sabi dun sa basic accounting mo, no, nung nasa lower year ka pa lang, isn't it dapat daw sure tayo or certain tayo na yung assets and income na ating i-recognize hindi overstated, hindi rin dapat understated yung expense and liabilities. Ibig sabihin ngayon, since may involved dito na uncertainty, the amount of provision now, once again, the amount of provision must be adjusted to, right, to involve the uncertainties involved, no? To involve the uncertainties involved, right, pareho, sorry na, right? Ibig sabihin, the amount of provision now will be equal to the best estimate. Once again, this will be equal to the best estimate. Then, imumultiply natin to sa risk adjustment factor, no? Once again, we'll just multiply this sa risk adjustment factor and then that's the amount of provision. Sir, paano pag wala pong given sa problem na risk adjustment factor? Well, kapag walang given sa problem na risk adjustment factor, di ibig sabihin, yung nakuha mong best estimate kanina by using the midpoint of the range approach and the expected value approach will already be the amount of provision. So, yung gagawin mo lang yung pag-a-adjust na to if and only if there is a risk adjustment factor given in the problem. Okay? Now, ganito. Since uncertain yung timing neto, and normally, ine-estimate lang din natin kung kailan natin yan babayaran, asahan mo ngayon na minsan kailangan nating i-involve yung tinatawag natin na time value element, and so therefore, we have to compute the present value of the obligation. Sir, anong ibig sabihin ng time value of money? Well, na-discuss ko na yan dun sa other video natin. Ang ibig lang naman sabihin yan is that the value of money few years ago is not the same to the value of the money today and the value of the money few years from now. So if that's the case, nasa future pa lang natin, no, babayaran or isi-settle yung obligation na yan, kailangan ngayon nating i-discount to present value yung ating provision or yung amount of provision. Maliwanag ba? Pero dito, in computing the present value factor, always mong tatandaan, no, na yung gagamitin mo will be the pre-tax rate. So kapag may given sa problem na post-tax rate, hindi po yun yung gagamitin, but instead, kunin mo muna yung pre-tax rate at yung pre-tax rate na yun, yung gagamitin natin as a discount rate to reflect, right, the what? To reflect the effect of the time value of money. Nagkakaintindihan ba? So, those are the things that you have to know here on provisions, no? So, to apply all this, punta ngayon tayo sa illustrative problem number 1. So, anong meron dito? On November 5, 2026, Pepper Company's truck was in an accident with an auto driven by Gracial, no? Pepper received notice on January 15, 2027 of a lawsuit for 700,000 damages for personal injuries suffered by Gracial. Tegan Price, Pepper's legal counsel, believed it is probable that Gracial will be awarded, no, an estimated amount in the range between 200,000 and 450,000, and no amount is a better estimate of a potential liability than any other amount because each point in the range is as likely as any other. The 2026 financial statements were issued, no, on March 1, 2027. So dito, anong sabi ng problem? Ang sabi ng problem, alright, sabi ng legal counsel daw ni Pepper, matatalo tayo. Ang mananalo daw is si Gracial, and that chance or that possibility is probable. So, ibig sabihin, there is a probable chance that an outflow of economic benefits will flow outside of Pepper. So, this provision must be what? Must be recognized, no? Nagigets? So, dito, since nagbigay siya ng range, ang sabi ng problem, no amount is better estimate of potential liability than any other amount, see to it now that the midpoint of the range approach ang ating gagamitin dito. So, magkano yung amount of provision? Because that's the question here, no? What amount of loss should be recognized or accrued on December 31, 2026? So, here, the amount of provision, no, is equal to 200,000 plus 450,000 divided by 2, or this is equal to how much? Well, calculator please. 200,000 plus 450,000 divided by 2, or this is equal to 325,000. So, illustrative problem number 1, 325,000 is our final answer. We're good? Now, punta tayo dito sa illustrative problem number 2. Okay? So, kapag sinabi natin, right, provision once again, dapat probable, probable. Now, punta tayo dito. During 2026, Pepper Company is the defendant, no, in a patent infringement lawsuit. Annalise Keating, Pepper's lawyer, believes that there is a 70% chance that the court will dismiss the case and the entity will incur no outflow of economic benefits. Right? This is with the help of Bonnie and Frank, Annalise's employees. We good? However, if the court rules in favor of the claimant, Annalise believes, right, that there is a 20% chance that the entity will be required to pay damages of 200,000. And an 80% chance that the entity will be required to pay damages of 100,000. Then other outcomes are unlikely. The court is expected to rule late in 2028, and there is no indication that the claimant will settle outside of court, no? So here, the requirement is the amount of provision for lawsuit. Well, here, if napansin mo, 70% yung chance na i-dismiss daw ng court yung kaso. And, kapag nangyari yun, there will be, or Pepper will incur no outflow of economic benefits. And since 70% nga yung chance na mananalo tayo, 30% lang yung chance na matatalo tayo, and so therefore, hindi po yun probable. Because para masabing probable, right, once again, para masabing probable, always remember na dapat more than 50% po yung chance, no? Ibig sabihin, right, more likely than not na mangyayari yan, kesa hindi. Hindi yan nasunod kasi 30% lang yung chance na matatalo tayo. So, hindi ngayon yan probable. So, ang ibig sabihin ngayon, our final answer here will be 0. Sir, anong gagawin natin dun sa nako-compute nating estimate dito? Yung estimate po na nako-compute natin dito is i-disclose lang po natin yun as what? As a contingent liability na i-discuss natin after nating sagutan si illustrative problem number 3 and 4 mamaya. Okay? So, here, final answer will be 0 kasi hindi siya probable. Dapat, right, more than 50% yung chance na may outflow of economic benefits. Okay? Now, punta tayo sa illustrative problem number 3. So, here, in illustrative problem number 3, during 2026, no, Pepper Company is the defendant in a patent infringement lawsuit. Annalise Keating, Pepper's lawyer, believes that there is a 30% chance that the court will dismiss the case and the entity will incur no outflow of economic benefits, no? So this time, kung 30% lang yung chance na mananalo tayo, there is a 70% chance now na matatalo tayo. Ibig sabihin, probable na may lalabas sa atin na future economic benefits, and so therefore, provision to. We have to recognize this one. Okay? However, if the court rules in favor of the claimant, Annalise believes that there is a 20% chance that the entity will be required to pay damages of 200,000 and 80% chance that the entity will be required to pay damages of 100,000. Other outcomes are unlikely. The court is expected to rule late in 2028, ibig sabihin after 2 years, no? Once again, this is after 2 years. And there is no indication that the claimant will settle outside of court. So here, there is a risk adjustment factor given. Sabi dito, a 7% risk adjustment factor to the probability weighted expected cash flow is considered appropriate to reflect the uncertainties in the cash flow estimates. Also, an appropriate discount rate of 5% per year, right, is given. And then the present value of one at 5% for 2 periods is actually equal to 0.907. So, the question here is the measurement of the provision for lawsuit, no? So, kunin muna natin yung babayaran natin just in case matatalo tayo, no? Right? So, just in case matalo tayo, see to it na meron daw 20% chance. Again, there's a 20% chance na 200,000 ng ating babayaran, and there's an 80% chance na 100,000 ng ating babayaran. So, expected value approach ang gagamitin dito, no? So, 200,000 times 20%, that's actually equal to 40,000. Then, 100,000 times 80% is 80,000 pesos. Then, adding these two will give us 120,000. Okay? So, that's the amount na ina-expect nating bayaran if matalo tayo. Kaso, hindi naman 100% yung chance na matatalo tayo eh. Nagigets? There is only a 30% chance that the court will dismiss, the case. Ibig sabihin, 70% lang yung chance na matatalo tayo. So, 70% chance na loss tayo, ibig sabihin, magbabayad tayo ng 120. Pero 30% pa rin yung chance na mananalo tayo, ibig sabihin, 0 ang ating babayaran. So, 70% now of 120,000 is how much? That's equal to 84,000. And then, 30% of 0, obviously, will be equal to 0. So, the best estimate now of the provision, once again, the best estimate of the provision is 84,000. So, wag mong kakalimutan yun, ha? Wanag? Pero once again, hindi pa po yan yung amount of provision natin. Sir, bakit? I-consider pa kasi natin yung risk adjustment factor na given at saka yung present value factor na given. So, 84,000 para sure tayo na hindi yan understated, pataasin natin. So, times 1.07 to involve the risk, right, adjustment factor. Then times 0.907 kasi kailangan mo yung i-present value kasi nga sa future mo pa yan isi-settle. So 84,000 times 1.07 times 0.907, the amount of provision now will be equal to 81,521. So 81,521 now will be our final answer here in illustrative problem number 3. Again, here in illustrative problem number 3, 81,521 will be our final answer. Okay? Now, after talking about provision, let's talk about contingent liability, no? Once again, let's talk about contingent liability. So, kapag sinabi po natin contingent liability, according to paragraph 10, no, of IAS number 37, there are two ways on how to define a contingent liability. The first definition of contingent liability is that a contingent liability is only a possible obligation. Ibig sabihin, hindi po probable to, possible obligation lang siya. Again, a contingent liability is only a possible obligation that arises, no, from past event and whose existence will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events not wholly within the control of the entity. Then the second definition is that a contingent liability is, right, a present obligation. Again, is also a present obligation. Meaning, sir, recognize, hindi pa tapos eh. Is a present obligation that arises from past event but is not recognized because it is not probable. Once again, it is not probable that an outflow of resources embodying economic benefits will be required, right, to settle the obligation, or the amount of obligation is what is not measured or cannot be measured reliably, no, right? So, or reliably. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya tumutugma sa criteria criteria of recognition of a liability. So, dapat probable, no, and reliably measurable. Kaso, ang contingent liability daw, not probable or not measured reliably. Ibig sabihin, hindi po natin siya pwedeng i-recognize as liability. So, contingent liability now is not recognized as a liability. Nagigets nyo ba ako? Hopefully, nagigets nyo ako, no? So, sir, anong gagawin natin sa contingent liability na yan? Well, this contingent liability will only be disclosed, no? Will only be disclosed on the book. So, disclose only lang siya, not recognized po tayo. Maliwanag ba? Now, punta tayo sa tinatawag natin na contingent asset. So, this will be the last one, no? So, what is contingent asset? Well, according to paragraph 10 of IAS number 37, contingent asset is defined as a possible asset. Once again, this is a possible asset, right, that arises from past events and whose existence will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events not wholly within the control of the entity. So, a contingent asset will also be not recognized. So, hindi rin po natin ito nire-recognize as an asset, ha? Right? or not recognized also as an income, right? But only what? But only disclosed on the notes to the financial statement. So, disclose only lang din ang ating contingent asset. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo doon? So, ngayon ganito, nagawa tayo ng timeline para mas magets natin yan. No? So, this is 0%. This is 50%. This is 95%. Then, this is 100%. Right? So, ano yung timeline na yan? This timeline is actually the timeline of chances. No? So, kapag 95 to 100% yung chance, ang tawag po natin dyan is reasonably certain. Again, dito yung tinatawag natin na reasonably certain. No? Kapag more than 50%, kapag once again, more than 50% up to 95%, dito po yung tinatawag natin na probable. Okay? Kapag sakto naman na 50%, once again, kapag saktong 50%, ang tawag po natin dyan is possible. Then, kapag mas mababa sa 50%, ang tawag natin dun is remote. Nagkakaintindihan ba? So, meron tayo ngayong 4 na klase ng probability, no? Remote, pag less than 50%, saktong 50% possible. Probable, kapag 51 to 95, and then, kapag 95 to 100, that is reasonably certain. Okay? So, let's talk about liabilities muna, no? So, kapag liabilities po ang pinag-uusapan, see to it, na magre-recognize tayo. Again, recognize tayo kapag probable yan. So, recognize si liability kapag probable. Kapag reasonably certain, mas lalong recognize kasi dito lang yung minimum. So, recognize na rin yun. Kapag possible, disclosed only. Again, kapag possible, disclose only. Pero kapag remote, ignored lang po yan. Once again, kapag remote lang yung chance nung liability na yun, ignore mo lang siya. Okay? So, those are the rules kapag liability. Sir, bakit siya dinidisclose kapag 50%? Because kapag 50%, contingent liability lang po ang tawag natin dyan. Recognize siya dito because it is a provision. It's just that uncertain pa kasi more than 50% pa lang eh. So, uncertain pa. Then, dito naman sa reasonably certain, totoo ng liability yan kasi malapit-lapit na siya sa certainty, no? Liwanag ba? Now, let's talk about assets. Pagdating naman sa assets, see to it na kapag reasonably certain po ang asset, doon lang po siya nire-recognize, no? Ibig sabihin, kapag probable lang ang isang asset, dinidisclosed lang po yan. Sir, bakit naman? Because kapag probable lang yung chance na magiging asset talaga yan, dito po siya nagiging contingent asset. Kapag possible naman, see to it na ini-ignore lang ang asset na yan, mas lalo naman na kapag remote yan. So, ibig sabihin, mas malala kapag asset. Because meron tayong tinatawag na prudence or conservatism eh. Ibig sabihin, ng conservatism or prudence, assets and income must not be overstated, right? Therefore, mas stricto tayo dun. Then, liabilities must not be understated, kaya tayo mas maluwag pag liability. So, kapag liability, pag probable, recognize na. Pero kapag asset, bago mo i-recognize, dapat reasonably certain yan. Kapag probable lang ang isang asset, contingent asset lang yun, therefore disclosed. Pero kapag possible or remote yung asset, ini-ignore lang yan. Aliwanag? Now, to apply all these, to the last problem, please go to illustrative problem number 4. So here, in illustrative problem number 4, in May 2026, Pepper Company filed suit against Rain Company seeking 1.9 million damages for patent infringement, no? So, tayo si Pepper dito at tayo ang nagdemanda. A court verdict in November 2026 awarded Pepper 1.5 million in damages, but Rain's appeal is not expected to be decided before 2027. Ibig sabihin, nag-appeal si Rain. Connor Walsh, the first chair in the trial and one of the students in Analyst Keating's class action, believed that it is probable that Pepper will be successful against Rain, no? For an estimated amount in the range of 800 and 1.1 million, with 1 million considered the most likely amount. So, kapag ganito ang given, wag mo nang kunin yung range, yung 1 million nang gagamitin natin. Kaso dito, anong meron? Probable lang na meron tayong marireceive. Anong usapan natin? Bago tayo mag-recognize ng asset at gain, dapat reasonably certain. So, kung probable lang na magiging successful tayo against Rain, see to it na kapag tinanong tayo ngayon na What amount should Pepper record as income from the lawsuit for the year ended December 31, 2026? Our final answer will still be 0 kasi nga probable pa lang. Ibig sabihin, the amount of income here will only be disclosed. Nagkakaintindihan ba? Pero kung liability to, obvious naman no, na i-recognize na natin yan kasi considered na siyang provision. Kasi kapag liability, probable pa lang, recognize na. Nagigets? So that's all the things you have to know here about IAS number 37, which is all about provisions, contingent liabilities, and contingent assets. Hopefully, marami ka natutunan sa video na to. See you on our next videos, no? We'll discuss current liabilities, including warranties, premiums, accrued liabilities, deferred revenues, ano pa, accounts payable and notes payable, and then we will also discuss on our next videos or upcoming videos the bonds payable or the concepts about bonds payable as well as the compound financial instrument. So, uubusin natin yung mga liabilities na yan. Then, after nating maubos yung mga liabilities, punta tayo sa special topics, which is isa sa mga most requested, which is the leases, no? So, for now, thank you guys for watching. Please share and subscribe, right, to this video. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.